They are called the people of the Blue Veil. Their world is the Sahara. For centuries, the Tuareg have wandered its sands. Now, fewer than 10,000 remain. And much of what we know about them comes from stories carried on the wind. Oral histories that have survived for generations. Legend tells us that long ago a great river flowed, where now only sandstorms rise. It was called the Tesaraki, the river of the Blue Veils, and where it ran, so ran the borders of Tuareg lands. The name came from those who lived there, the people who wove their own destinies from the threads of the desert, sewing together family groups into tribes, and eventually a nation without borders. The Tuareg have never had a single king or queen, no formal leader to unite them under one banner. Rather, they have followed counselors known as amenicles, those who see the right way, who help guide the people through a shifting world. But the Tuareg are united by more than just these guides, by more than the endless sky above, or the ever-present sun. Above all else, they are bound by their traditions, customs and beliefs that grow older than any oasis. Some say the Tuareg were born of the desert itself, shaped by its hardships and blessed by its beauty. Others claim descent from ancient Egypt, the land of the pharaohs. Most believe they sprang up naturally from the same elements that surround them: earth, air, fire, and water. Regardless, the Tuareg consider themselves innately free, unconfined by rules that hold others. Born of the wind, they are the wind. As one writer noted in the early 20th century, for the Tuareg, the world is round like the sky and there are no barriers in it. It is difficult to imagine the Tuareg people settling down, putting down roots. Yet somehow, they thrive in the most inhospitable place on earth. It is said that they carry water on their backs and live off the fat of the land. To the untrained eye, it seems as though nothing grows, no crops, no fruit trees. Oh, the Tuareg know better. The desert blooms. In its own time, the Tuareg do not merely survive in the desert, they live by its rhythms. When rain falls, they store every drop. When temperatures soar, they seek shade during the hottest hours. During seasonal migrations, they travel with the herds. And when night falls, they huddle around fires fueled by dried dung. To the Tuareg, the desert is not just a place, it is home. It is everything. And if the desert is their mother, then the camel is their brother. No other beast can endure the heat, the thirst, the cold nights. And the Tuareg have mastered the art of riding. Men, women, and children steer across the dunes with confidence. Nothing is too high for them to climb, too deep for them to cross. Theirs is a world on the move. While humans walk at the pace of their feet, the Tuareg travel at the speed of the wind. It is not easy to live a life like this. There are few rewards, few pleasures, little beauty. The Tuareg have found joy in small things: a good harvest of wild onions, a skillful hunt, a moon that rivals the brightness of the sun. But among the greatest joys of all are the moments when their world stops spinning. When the wind falls silent, when the sand settles, and they can be still, the Tuareg find peace. They find it in the quiet strength of family bonds, in the knowledge that though they travel alone, they are never truly apart. And perhaps most of all, they find it in the love they share, a love that endures. Because it is woven into the very fabric of their lives, a love that speaks without words, a love that lasts forever, the love that moved the mountains. When the moon was new, the stars hung low in the night sky above the Sahara. It was then that Tin Hinen made her way across the desert sands, following a destiny woven into the winds. Before the rolling trade routes crisscrossed the great expanse of sand as we know it, before the familiar sights and sounds of the Sahara took shape, there was Tin Hinen. That name echoes in the hearts of the Tuareg, a whisper of a past so ancient it has become legend. Yet within the stories, there is something solid, real, perhaps a kingdom lost to time. She walked, some say, in the 4th century, some say the 5th. But the sands have swallowed up all precise dates. What is known is that her steps fell upon the burning sands as a kind of prophecy. Where she stepped, a people took root. Where she led, a community arose from the dust. She is remembered as a guiding light, a matriarch, a weaver of peace in a land of warring factions. The Tuareg tell stories of her as part legend, part oral tradition, each telling a verse in the epic poem of her life. She was a queen without a crown, a ruler of a hidden realm, a beacon of wisdom in the vast emptiness. But even queens have beginnings. So let's begin at the start, or as close to the start as the legends take us. Tinhinan was a noblewoman, some say a princess, from Tiflis, a kingdom in what is now Morocco. Here, in this fertile valley, nestled between the high Atlas and anti-Atlas mountains, her story sprouted, watered by whispers and oral histories. Then, as the tales go, she left. Whether it was a political upheaval or a personal longing, the reasons are lost to time. But what remains is the image of a determined figure striding across the face of an unforgiving landscape. She traveled with companions, guided by the promise of sanctuary in the fabled Agar Mountains, the stone heart of southern Algeria. These mountains, rising majestically out of the sea of sand, became her haven, her home, and ultimately her legend. But she did not walk this path alone. By her side, always loyal and steadfast, was Takamat, who some say was more than just a handmaiden, more than just a companion. Her presence intertwined with Tinhinan's in a bond that defied the harsh realities of the world. If love had a face, it was Takamat's. The unwavering support, the shared silences, the unspoken understanding. They traversed the unforgiving terrain together, two souls seeking refuge amidst the dunes. And when they reached the Ahagar Mountains, it is said that Tinhinan turned the tides of fate. There, under the watchful gaze of the cliffs, she wove her magic. With her wisdom and diplomacy, she forged alliances, settled disputes, and united families. Her influence spread like ripples in a pond, touching lives and leaving an indelible mark on the land. The Tuareg women who came after her, veiled and resolute, strong-willed and independent, they traced their lineage back to her, inheriting her legacy of strength and resilience. But her story doesn't end here. Deep within the Algerian desert, near the town of Abalessa, her tomb was discovered, a testament to her enduring legacy. Inside the sands held secrets, not just of her passing, but of a love that defied time. Her body lay in state, adorned in the finery of her status, hinting at the reverence she commanded. But it was the discovery of another skeleton nearby that truly captured the imagination. Some believe it was Takamat, her devoted companion, whose bones rested beside those of her beloved. Two women, united in life and in death, whispering tales of devotion across the ages. In the heart of the Sahara, where the wind sculpts the dunes, and the sun paints the sky in hues of gold, the memory of Tinhinan lives on. The tale of Tinhinan and Takamat is a tapestry woven with threads of love, loss, resilience, and devotion. While the sands of time have eroded the sharp edges of their story, the essence remains, a beacon of enduring love in the heart of the unforgiving desert. They stand as symbols of unwavering companionship, proving that love, in its quietest forms, can be the most enduring. For in the annals of history, where grand romances are celebrated, their story whispers a quieter truth. Love that moved the mountains, a love that whispered across the desert winds, a love that echoes still in the hearts of those who remember. And I, who have stumbled upon their tale, feel the echoes of their love move me too. The desert holds many secrets, but among the Tuareg, none are more carefully guarded, or more beautifully expressed than love. In a land where water is more precious than gold, where survival depends on quiet discipline and the harmony of the caravan, courtship must be subtle, deliberate, sacred. There are no grand declarations, no public proposals, no florid love letters written with ink and sealed with wax. Instead, affection is spoken through objects, through gesture, and above all, through silence. They say the Tuareg have carried their love stories in their bodies since the beginning of time. Their tattoos are memories and maps, and the marks they make on themselves tell the tales of hearts entwined, of journeys taken, of home and belonging. I want you to imagine yourself as part of a caravan camped beside a narrow oasis. The sky is violet with dusk. The air is thick with the hum of crickets and the soft clang of camel bells settling into the night. A fire crackles low. Someone pours tea. 3 times, as is tradition, each glass stronger, each one more bitter. And in your hand, wrapped in indigo cloth, is a bracelet, heavy silver, hammered into shape by a local smith whose father did the same, and whose father before him taught the technique to his son, each generation embedding meaning into every curve and etching. Among the Tuareg, Silver is more than ornament. It is belief, protection, memory. It reflects light and repels evil. It is cool against the skin, like water made solid, and when shaped with care, it becomes language. Certain designs speak of affection. A bracelet with crossed lines might signal the intersection of two lives. A spiral suggests longing, or perhaps the unending nature of love. An engraved triangle could represent shelter, the shared home the giver longs to build. But there are rules. These tokens are not given lightly, and often not given in public. A young man might hand one over in the dim privacy of a tent, or slip it among a girl's belongings, hoping she will understand. If she wears it the next day, it is a silent yes. If it is never seen again, the message is understood, quietly, without shame. There are also the signs of poetry, but not written on parchment, where reg love poems are often spoken or sung, passed from mouth to mouth, never quite the same each time, yet always carrying something familiar. A lover might recite lines comparing his beloved's eyes to hidden wells, her laughter to the wind moving through date palms. But even these are rarely said directly. Instead, a friend might be enlisted to carry the words, a cousin, a brother, a go-between. The poem travels across space like water poured from one vessel into another until it finds its way to the intended ear. Then, there are the stories. The Tuareg have always loved stories. It is a tradition that goes back generations, maybe centuries. When I was younger, my grandmother would tell me tales of star-crossed lovers who met only once a season as caravans crossed paths. They'd exchange gifts, a lock of hair wrapped in cloth, a tiny carved spoon, a bead of blue glass said to protect against envy. Their meetings were brief, their words few, but these moments lingered for lifetimes. She would say that even the sand remembers, if you move gently enough. Even in this harsh, unforgiving landscape, love finds a way to bloom. Privacy is not just preference here, it is protection. Love, in this world, is no less passionate for being concealed. It is all the more powerful for being folded into everyday life, stitched into clothing, hidden in coded patterns, murmured in dreams. And still today, in Tuareg music and dance, these echoes survive. There are songs in the Tend rhythm, sung only by women, that speak of longing, of waiting, of lives marked by absence and return. There are dances where young men and women circle each other slowly, never touching, but watching, always watching. To love here is to endure, to wait, to understand that even the sand remembers, if you move gently enough. In a world of wind and silence, the truest things are never spoken aloud. They are worn. They are carried. They're passed hand to hand, like water from a well. In this moment, surrounded by the vastness of the Sahara, far from the clamor of the outside world, let us delve into a tale as old as time itself. A tale of love whispered across the ages. Our journey brought us to this place where the sky and earth converge, where the Sahara's secrets are held close, and as the sun dips below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of amber and rose, we find ourselves drawn to a love story that unfolded right here under this very sky. Tin Heenan, they called her, a name that echoes with the strength of 1,000 suns. She was a queen, yes, but not of palaces and gold. Her kingdom was this, the untamed wilderness, her crown, the endless sky. When shadows stretched long and the air grew cold, we gathered close around the fire, sharing stories that had been passed down for generations. Stories of courage, resilience, and above all of love. Night. We follow Tin Heenan's tale, a love story that defied the harshest of deserts and the coldest of nights. Picture a vast expanse of sand dunes, rippling as far as the eye can see, a sea of golden waves stretching towards the horizon. Amidst this grandeur, a lone figure emerges, Tin Heenan, queen of the dunes, her silhouette etched against the fiery hues of the setting sun. She walks with purpose, her steps firm on the shifting sands, her gaze fixed on the distance. Behind her, a small caravan follows, their movements synchronized, their faces etched with determination and hope. They are nomads, travelers who navigate these unforgiving landscapes with unwavering resolve. As the sun descends, casting long shadows across the dunes, the caravan begins to stir. The camels kneel, their humps laden with precious cargo, their eyes reflecting the day's weariness. Tents are unfurled, creating pockets of shade amidst the endless sea of sand. Here, amidst the canvas shelters, a fire is kindled, its flickering flames offering a beacon of warmth and comfort against the encroaching desert night. Around the fire, the nomads gather, their voices weaving tales of their arduous journey and the legendary queen who leads them. Their words paint a vivid picture of the harsh realities they face. It's the scorching heat, the biting winds, and the relentless sun. Yet through it all, their spirits remain unbroken. Their hope sustained by the promise of a better life under the queen's benevolent rule. And then she arrives, Tinhinen, her presence commanding respect and admiration. Her flowing indigo robes billowing in the desert wind, her head adorned with a veil that frames her determined face. As she settles by the fire, a hush falls over the camp. All eyes are on her, eager to catch her every word, to draw strength from her unwavering spirit. With a voice that resonates with power and kindness, she addresses her people, sharing stories of resilience, of battles fought and won, and of the unwavering bond that unites them. Her words are a balm to their weary souls, a reminder that even in the harshest of environments, hope and humanity endure. The night deepens, the stars emerge, winking down on the nomads huddled together for warmth and camaraderie. The fire crackles, sending sparks spiraling into the vast darkness, mirroring the dreams that flicker in the hearts of those gathered around it. Suddenly, a melody breaks the silence, a haunting tune that seems to rise from the very heart of the desert. It's Tinhinen, her voice echoing with both strength and vulnerability. She sings of love, of loss, and of the enduring spirit of her people, her voice weaving a tapestry of sound that binds them together under the starlit sky. As the music swells, it becomes a unifying force, transcending the boundaries of words. It speaks of a love that has weathered the harshest storms, of a bond that has endured the unforgiving desert, and of a hope that continues to flicker in the face of adversity. In that moment, surrounded by the vastness of the desert and the haunting strains of the melody, the nomads feel an overwhelming sense of unity, their individual struggles fading away as they are enveloped in the collective story that has brought them together. The song ends, leaving behind a profound silence that resonates with the depth of their emotions. Now, as the last embers of our journey glow softly in the dark, we leave behind the shifting sands of the Sahara. The wind has quieted, the camels have stilled, the tents lie calm and folded against the chill of the desert night. The stories we've shared tonight were not loud ones, no trumpets of war, no resounding declarations, but stories made of glances and gestures of poetry and patient waiting. Love here was something that moved gently, like wind across dunes, shaped not by drama but by endurance. Tinhinen, the queen who came from exile, still rests beneath the desert she once crossed. Her tomb, a hushed chamber of stone and memory, still holds the quiet echo of a journey, and perhaps of a love never named, but always present. The bracelets passed from one hand to another, the secret meanings carved into silver. The lines of songs sung softly into the night wind. All of it is still there, if you listen. Still carried by the Tuareg people, still alive in the desert's breath. As you lie here now, still and warm, know that the world has always been filled with quiet love. Love that waited at the edge of a caravan. Love that traveled hundreds of miles in silence. Love that wore indigo and never spoke its name. It's comforting to know that even in the most unforgiving places, where water is rare and survival is hard, love still found a way to exist. Not just in passion, but in presence, in loyalty, in memory. And perhaps, as sleep gently finds you now, you carry a little piece of that with you. A love story the desert kept safe. A whisper in the Sahara. Good night. Sleep well.